Canada's PM drops a 6-word bombshell on America. The world is talking biz. Watch now.
Rule of law, 2 countries, 1 devastating moment. Watch what happens.
Breaking tonight, the most powerful political statement of the week didn't come from a podium. It came from a smile, a pause, and 6 words that landed like a diplomatic thunderbolt across the border. Sometimes, the moments that shift global perception aren't dramatic speeches or aggressive press conferences. They're quiet, calculated, devastatingly precise. This week, at a PAC forum discussing foreign investment, Prime Minister Mark Carney was asked a straightforward question about Canada's competitive advantages. He leaned back slightly, allowed himself a small smile, and said with perfect timing, "We like that we have rule of law." The audience laughed. Not polite laughter, but recognition laughter. The kind that says everyone in that room understood exactly what just happened. Because make no mistake, Carney wasn't answering a generic question about investment climate. He was drawing a line between 2 countries, 2 leaders, 2 completely different visions of governance. And he did it without once saying Donald Trump's name. That's not diplomacy. That's surgical precision. Here's what makes the timing so brutal. Days before that forum, Trump's America was all over the news again, not breaking ground on infrastructure, not announcing economic wins, courtroom chaos, legal drama, political interference in justice systems that used to be untouchable, federal judges getting publicly attacked, prosecutors attacked on social media, legal precedents shattered for political convenience. The world watched America's institutions bend and crack under pressure from the very person supposed to uphold them. Then Carney stood in that forum and said 6 words. "We like that we have rule of law." Translation: "We like that we're not you." Dear viewers, what you witnessed wasn't just a clever comment. It was the moment Canada stopped playing the quiet neighbor and started positioning itself as the grown-up alternative to American chaos. Carney delivered what decades of expensive branding campaigns could never achieve. He made stability sound exciting. He made predictability sound powerful. He made rule of law sound like the ultimate competitive advantage. And here's what makes it brilliant. He's absolutely right. Think about what foreign investors actually want. They want to know their contracts will be honored tomorrow. They want to trust that regulations today will still apply next month. They want confidence that political wins won't suddenly invalidate their agreements. They want rule of law. Under Trump's America, none of that certainty exists anymore. Policies shift based on social media moods. Allies become enemies over weekend tweets. Trade agreements collapse because someone got insulted at dinner. Legal protections evaporate if you criticize the wrong person. For investors trying to plan 5, 10, 20 years ahead, Trump's America has become a high-risk bet. Carney saw that vulnerability and drove a diplomatic knife straight into it. Calmly, professionally, with a smile. What makes this moment historically significant isn't the laugh it generated. It's what happened in the 48 hours after. That clip spread like wildfire across social media. Financial analysts shared it with captions like, "Canada's PM delivers perfect Trump burn." International news outlets picked it up. Bloomberg, Reuters, Financial Times, all covering 6 words from a Canadian forum. But the real impact happened in boardrooms you'll never see reported. Investors in Tokyo, London, Singapore, watching that clip and thinking, he's not wrong. Multinational corporations reconsidering expansion plans, looking north instead of south. Capital allocators quietly shifting their North American strategies because one leader offered certainty while the other offers chaos. Carney just made Canada the safe bet, not through aggression, through competence. Pull back for a second, see the bigger game playing out here. For months now, Pierre Poilievre has been building his entire brand around being Canada's version of Trump. The outsider, the disruptor, the guy who's going to shake up the establishment and burn it all down. Every speech echoes Trumpian populism. Every policy proposal mimics American conservative talking points. He's building his entire brand on being Canada's answer to Trump. Then Carney stands up and reminds everyone why that's exactly the wrong direction. While Poilievre chases Trump's shadow, Carney demonstrates what actual leadership looks like. Calm beats chaos. Stability beats spectacle. Rule of law beats rule by personality. The contrast couldn't be sharper. Poilievre shouts about problems. Carney solves them quietly. Poilievre promises disruption. Carney delivers results. Poilievre wants to be Canada's Trump. Carney just showed the world why Canada doesn't need one. And Canadian voters are watching this contrast play out in real time. Every time Poilievre adopts another Trump tactic, Carney's response makes it look juvenile. Every aggressive press conference gets answered with competent governance. Every populist promise gets countered with actual policy achievement. This is how you defeat populism. Not by screaming louder, by being better. But let's talk about what didn't happen in that moment, because it's just as important as what did. Carney didn't insult Trump directly, didn't mock him, didn't name him, didn't have to. The power came from restraint, from letting reality speak for itself. Trump's America sells chaos as strength. Carney just reminded everyone that real strength is boring, predictable, institutional. Compare that to how Trump would have handled the same question. You know exactly what would have happened. A 20-minute rant about how America has the best legal system, the greatest laws, the most fantastic courts, personal attacks on whoever asked the question, a tangent about crowd sizes or poll numbers. 3 new controversies before lunch. Carney took 6 words and changed the conversation. That's the difference between noise and signal. Within hours, the comment had reached Washington. You better believe Trump's team saw that clip. You better believe they understood exactly what Carney was saying. And here's the delicious irony. Trump can't effectively respond. If he attacks Carney for praising rule of law, he proves Carney's point. If he claims America has better legal systems, everyone remembers the courthouse drama. If he ignores it, the contrast stands unchallenged. Carney created a perfect diplomatic trap. Every possible Trump response makes it worse. But this moment reveals something deeper than clever political theater. It shows Canada actively stepping into a leadership vacuum. For decades, Canada played the reliable partner, the quiet ally, the polite neighbor who followed America's lead. That era is ending, not through dramatic announcements or aggressive foreign policy shifts, but through moments like this where Canadian leaders simply demonstrate that stability matters, institutions matter, and rule of law matters. The world is noticing. When major economies look unstable, capital flows towards stability. When traditional powers embrace chaos, influence shifts to those who embrace order. Canada isn't just talking about being the alternative to Trump's America. Canada is becoming that alternative in real time, one calm, competent statement at a time. And Carney understands this shift better than anyone else in Canadian politics right now. His entire career has been built on institutional credibility. Bank of Canada, Bank of England, Finance Minister, Prime Minister. At every level, he's demonstrated that expertise matters, that calm leadership produces better results than theatrical disruption. This wasn't an offhand comment. This was brand definition. Canada as the country where rules matter, where laws apply equally, where institutions function properly. In a world watching American institutions crumble under political pressure, that brand has never been more valuable. Think about the timing. Trump just finished another week of legal controversies. Carney delivers this line. The contrast writes itself. And unlike political attacks that can be dismissed as partisan noise, this was just observation. Carney didn't attack Trump's character. He highlighted the difference in systems. That makes it devastating because it's provably true. American investors know their legal system has become unpredictable. European allies know American commitments aren't guaranteed anymore. Asian partners know trade policy can change on presidential whim. Carney didn't invent these concerns. He just gave voice to what everyone's already thinking. We like that we have rule of law. 6 words, a statement of fact that functions as a scalpel. This is modern diplomatic warfare, and Carney just showed he's mastered it completely. Before we close tonight, we want to hear from you. What's your take on Carney's comment? Brilliant diplomacy or unnecessary provocation? Do moments like this make you more or less confident in Canada's global position? Drop your thoughts below, because these conversations matter. Your take matters here. This is where we figure out together what these moments actually mean for Canada's future. Listen, if this kind of breakdown is what you're here for, real analysis beyond the surface headlines, hit subscribe on Canada Next. We're not doing the same recycled talking points everyone else runs. We're digging into what actually moves power, where the leverage really sits, what the next move looks like before it happens. Turn on notifications so you never miss when we break down the next major moment. Because here's what's coming. Trump will respond eventually. Might take days, might take weeks, but you know he can't let this stand. When he does, we'll be here to analyze it. When Poilievre tries to spin this, we'll cover that too. When the next chapter of Canada's quiet rise unfolds, you'll see it here first. Thank you for watching Canada Next. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this one. And thanks for getting that sometimes the biggest power moves don't need shouting. This is Canada Next.